This may look weird to you. Just me all by myself, sitting on the lounge by myself. I killed Noah. Noah's dead. Noah died in a car accident. Rest in peace, Noah. We'll send all your belongings the to your families. But so it's just me and Jake. Jake, say hi.
Hello.
This is Jake. That's Jake over the phone.
Hello,
I'm
everybody.
Lochie. Hello. Welcome back to the Armchair Coaches. We may have some new viewers, so if you don't know who we are the Armchair Coaches. We do all types of sports. Today we're doing 2 podcasts. It's just me and Jake. Noah's not here. Noah died. But there might be a scary voice coming
Just
from
for half an
beyond
hour.
the grave that might ask us some questions. So 2 podcasts this week, coming out 2 podcasts. So this is the first one. We had a big weekend last weekend full of wrestling and sports in general, but more specifically, this podcast is going to be about wrestling. It's about Wrestle Mania that happened
The
in the past
wrestling.
week. The wrestling. So this is what this podcast is going to be. And then the next podcast is our normal podcast that we do. So if maybe the ghost from beyond the grave can start, first, how are you, Jake? How are you going?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Thanks to yourself.
That's good. Yeah, I'm doing all right. Had a big weekend. Slept through the Titans Raiders game, actually. Had a bit of a nap, but because watching too much wrestling. So much wrestling. So
Missed it on the favourites to win the comp play.
yeah, I fell asleep on them. So I heard they were winning too at one stage. So maybe I
They
should
were
just
they were winning
not watch
like I
them.
think it was like 20-0 or something or close to it.
Yeah, close to it. But we'll talk about that in the next podcast.
Yes.
So yeah. So how was your 2 nights on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday? If you're here in Australia,
Oh,
how were your 2 nights?
I reckon they were pretty good actually.
Very good. Very good.
I think night one was like a slow build up and it got there at the end, whereas night two was pretty much all gas,
Flip
no brakes
reverse.
from the start. Pretty much, yeah, pretty much
Yeah.
just until the end, pretty much, and then we hit a
Yeah.
brick wall.
Yeah. Whoa, what's that sound? What is that sound?
Sounds like
It must
sounds like
be
a
the
ghost.
dead. It's a ghost. Oh, what's that? What's that sound? Oh, it's Noah the ghost from. He's got some naughty questions to ask us from
Oh yeah.
beyond the grave.
So, Lochie and Jakob,
Hello, that is us.
what are your reactions and reviews on the main events over the weekend?
Ooh, that's a good question. Jake, you want
That
to
is a good question.
start us off, mate?
So I reckon night one was the better main event out of the two, and I think if they swapped them around, I reckon night two might have been one of the best. Well, I'd say probably maybe top 10 best WrestleManias of all time, but night two main event um kind of like maybe downhill. Not as spectacular and amazing as people were hoping it would have been to be. Considering how night two of WrestleMania last year ended.
Mm.
But yeah, I think main event of night one was the way better one than night two.
Night 2, definitely. I would have to tend to agree with you because I think the night 2 main event. So night 2 main event was Cody Rhodes versus John Cena for the WWE Championship, which John Cena went over to win his record-breaking 17th championship. Some facts about that. It was a really interesting match, actually. A lot of very slow-moving paced, but it was intentional because his whole character and whole story John Cena's doing is he's out to ruin wrestling. And what better way to ruin wrestling to ruin the main event, the crown jewel, pretty much, of wrestling in the main event. That is the main event of WrestleMania. So he's done his part in that. You can call it how it is. In the lead up from the start of the bell to when, God forbid, his name Travis Scott came out, it was Cena was out to kill wrestling and ruin wrestling for everyone. So I thought it was a really interesting match until Travis Scott came out, and then it just died. Realistically, that's no
Yeah.
way. There's no sugarcoating it. It just fell flat on its face and just didn't know how to recover. So
Yeah.
I think that's probably a good example. And then, as you said, night one main event, Seth Rollins defeating Roman Reigns and CM Punk. The right call, I believe. No, I believe it is the right call to do,
Yes,
because
definitely.
you've got opens up a lot of avenues for future storylines ahead. Paul Heyman turning on Seth. How do you feel about that, Jake?
I mean, I think it was kind of obvious after pretty much the whole last week, or like the week build up before WrestleMania, and maybe
Yeah.
the week before too, with Seth saying that he wants a favor, and I guess obviously the favor would be to be turning on Roman and CM Punk, but it did kind of, as soon as Paul Heyman got that chair, I think it was kind of just like pretty much just setting the stand that he was going to be turning on Punk and Roman.
Yeah, it was a matter of not if and when, but how he was going to do it, and I think they did that perfectly executed.
Yeah, they did
But yeah,
definitely.
I
Yep.
think, yeah, definitely. I think, yeah, definitely done it very articulated and very cinematic way of doing it. And then the following night on Raw, having Braun Breaker come out and be aligned with him, that's also very much a two-man power trip. If at the moment, if they want to add more, they could. There's possibilities endless to add more people into that faction. What else was on there? Big match. Jey Uso defeating Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. Your thoughts on that?
I I'm pretty much against what people think. I think that was a great match. Like Jay pretty much did what he said he was going to do, and it wasn't like the Jay that we've seen over the last 6 months to a year, pretty much. It's like been like the right hand man Jay, pretty much.
Yeah.
I think the
Yeah.
last couple of weeks, and then to come out and use Gunther's old, like pretty much Gunther's moveset against him, and pretty much making Gunther lose to his own moves. It's kind of like, okay, because I think if Jay won with a super kick and a splash, I think people would have been way worse on it than they are.
Yeah.
Considering
Yeah, definitely.
he's every time his face gone through, he's lost, and he's used the super kick and the splash.
Yeah, definitely. That ghost from beyond the grave. Man, he went away pretty quickly, didn't he?
What are some positives and negatives about both nights?
Positive negatives. Positives. I think all multi-person matches lived up to all their expectations, or even beyond. So
Yes,
I'm talking
definitely.
about the triple
Yeah,
threats and the fatal four ways. They all lived up to expectations.
100%.
Yeah, go Jack.
I think, yeah, I'd agree. I think my main positive is I think the US title match was like way better than I think we all expected.
Definitely. It was
LA
definitely
Knight and LA Knight and Jacob Fatu, pretty much. I
yeah,
think if that
yeah.
main event wasn't there, I think that would have been match of the night for night one.
Ooh, yeah, that's a big shout as well.
Yeah.
Big shout because you had Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair on that card as well, which was not a bad match. Was pretty good.
No, it was definitely not. I think they would have been like contenders for night one if the main event
Yeah,
wasn't there, honestly.
yeah, definitely. Definitely a lot of positives coming out. More so positives than negative. What everyone else is saying.
Yeah,
Everyone's
for
calling it
those
the
two
worst
matches, yeah.
WrestleMania ever. It's like you got WrestleMania
Yeah,
27,
Oh, I
WrestleMania
don't reckon
2.
that's the worst.
It's not the worst. It's not the greatest
No.
by any
Yeah,
machine, but
exactly.
it
It's not the
is.
greatest, but it's also not the worst.
Yeah, it's also not the worst. It's a good WrestleMania. You know.
Yeah. I think if night one wasn't involved, people would be talking about how great WrestleMania was, except for the main event.
Yeah, pretty much. You just yeah. So
I
I think
honestly
some
think
matches
they
needed
could they
to.
could have done night one. They could have just done one night of WrestleMania, to be honest, and then just got added the world title, Jacob Fatu, LA Knight, the women's title, and then the triple threat into night two, and you probably would have had like a banging
It'd
WrestleMania.
be, yeah, it'd be
And you
banging, and then
only
all those rested
and you're only adding on like an extra what?
3
Probably
matches.
like three matches, probably like an hour
Yeah,
and a half. Yeah, I
yeah,
think hour and a half because I
definitely.
know the main event night one went for 40 minutes.
Yeah,
You know, I think Tiffany and Jacob Fatu went for about 20 each. I think so. Yeah, that's about hour and a
yeah,
half almost.
and the
Where
rest of
night two
those.
went
So
night two went shorter too. It only didn't go for the full 4 hours.
no, no, definitely not. And that I think that was really surprising to most
Yeah,
as
everyone
well.
thought because there was only 20 minutes left. Everyone was going, "Oh, what this stuff's going to happen?" And then
Yes, yeah,
CM
what's going
Punk,
to happen?
I mean,
So,
not
but
CM Punk, John Cena just pinned him, and then it was all over.
yeah, it comes back to that storyline that Cena's coming at right now with he's trying to ruin wrestling. So everyone was coming in expecting The Rock and Stone Cold, and all these, this Avengers level, like they did last year at Night 2, but instead we just got what we wanted, and
Yep.
pretty much everyone hates it. And he's doing his job as the heel right now. He's doing his job as the heel, and in that match was designed and structured as a way for us to hate it so much. So I think they've done it perfectly well, and I think the expectation now is that we're going to get these main events like this. So if you're going to complain now, you better shut your mouths, because it's going to happen every match. So yeah. Oh, did you hear that?
Yeah, I hear that too.
Basing off your previous comments, how would you rate this WrestleMania?
Ooh. Ghost Beyond the Grave. How are we rating this out of what?
Where it would rank amongst previous WrestleManias.
Okay. All right.
I'll probably say if we're comparing it out of
Oh, Jesus. Out of 10. That's a good one.
I would night one I reckon would be I would say probably a 6.
Oh, damn. I was going to go 6 too. Yeah, it's a 6 for me as well.
Yeah,
I think
I think.
it's...
You go ahead.
It's
Sorry.
got WrestleMania 29 feels, I reckon.
Mm-hmm.
You had you had 3 good matches in Fatu and Knight, Stratton, Flair, and then Rollins, Reigns, and Punk, and then the rest of it just was fillers. Oh, and Jay and Gunther. So I think that's WrestleMania 29 feels kind of thing. That's what I feel like that night was.
Yeah, I kind of had
Night
that same feel too. Yeah.
Night 2.
I think night 2 would have been if the main events are swapped, that's like a 9.5, I reckon.
It is, yeah. It's Night 2.
I'm gonna say 8.5. Because
I'm gonna go 8.
I just think
8.
the main event brings it down.
Definitely. I think that, and I think maybe some aspects of the McIntyre Priest match. Good match, but I think you could have added that element of stiffness as well.
I think it needed more of a
Mm.
street fight feel. It didn't really feel like they went
Yeah.
out and about and stuff like that. It didn't feel like a street fight. It just felt like them doing some shenanigans when the ref's down type stuff.
Yeah. If I was going to compare it to another WrestleMania, I would actually compare it to WrestleMania 39, Night 2, I reckon.
Yeah.
This WrestleMania is pretty similar to WrestleMania 39 if we don't forget.
Yeah, the Night 2. Yeah, they're kind of similar.
Yeah,
Actually, you know what? The last 3 part 2 day 2s have been very similar. We've had great matches, and the main event's been kind of a bit iffy.
Yeah.
Like main
I
event
mean,
of last year's was good, but it wasn't like, oh
yeah,
my god, blow my socks off.
yeah, type
But
of, yeah.
it's. I think out of the last 3 years, last year night 2 was the best one.
Oh, definitely. I think best one because of you've got all that pomp and circumstance with
Yeah,
it, and this adventures level where you've got all these people coming in. So, and I feel like
yeah,
that's ruined it now for all WrestleManias main
yeah.
events
Like
because
we're
everyone is
expecting
expecting that.
something big. Yeah,
Yeah, and then you just got Travis Scott.
yeah. And then his music
I
went for
like the theme. The
his
theme's a
music
good
went for
song.
way too long. I think it went for like his entrance went out for like a good solid minute because he took so long to walk to the ring.
Yeah, I
And I
was
feel like
thinking about this.
John Cena was like they were like both like hurry up, and he's just kind of like
Yeah,
strolling down to the ring.
yeah. I was thinking about this a lot. I've been thinking about this a lot pretty much all week. What could have this WrestleMania, that main event night 2 could have done is probably added a second member to this faction, maybe, or giving
Yeah.
Cena actual people around him.
See, this is where I think they should have Paul Heyman and Seth should have come out and cost Rollins the title. Not Rollins, Rhodes the title.
Yeah, I think so
And
too.
then maybe have Travis Scott come out with them too. So it's kind of like, oh yeah, okay, they're like with the Rock and stuff.
Yeah, I think it would have been very. Yeah, it would have been interesting for that
Like
to happen.
have Travis as the distraction, and then Seth comes through the crowd or whatnot,
Yeah, yeah, it
and you can
would.
do
Yeah,
whatever with
yeah.
that.
I
Yeah,
think yes, there would had to be another layer, another kind of like if you're looking at it as a movie, you kind of have to have another scene, do it like next
yeah,
to it. It just felt like, oh, this has happened, this has happened. Travis Scott comes out, and then match is over. Fade back, Finn. Yeah, I feel like he's dying. I feel like he's still dying.
sounds like he's dying. Yes.
Where to go for LA Knight, Cody Rhodes, and Charlotte Flair?
It's a good question. Now, for the Beyond the Grave, I had to summon the witchcraft. I had to witchcraft it and ask these three specific people, Jake, and for our viewers, if you didn't know. So I had to specifically ask for these 3 people. Where to for these 3, Jake?
Oh, I reckon Cody takes some time off. I reckon he's gonna have a bit of a break until I reckon maybe SummerSlam, maybe Money in the Bank, but that's like only like a month and a bit away. Just get him some time away so that when he can come back either as a face or a heel, whatever they're gonna do, who knows? He can come back and be refreshed. Charlotte, honestly, I wish she could just not come back, be a one and done. But I
One and
guess
done, that's it.
I guess maybe they do a rerun at Backlash.
You reckon
Maybe,
Backlash?
and then maybe they go, and then she goes for the US title. Who knows?
Yeah.
And who's the last one? LA Knight.
LA Knight.
Oh, see, I feel like
You know what?
if Cody retained, I feel like he should have gone for the title. But now I don't know. I think he just gets mixed up in the shuffle, gets moved over to Raw.
Raw. I can see him being. So what do we got? We got Backlash, Money in the Bank, then another pay-per-view,
Clash in
and
Paris, I
then
think.
Backlash. I reckon in Paris, LA Knight gets a shot in Paris
Yeah,
against John
I
Cena.
wouldn't be good. It wouldn't be. Oh, maybe or it'd be a good shout to align him with Seth and that.
Oh, Jesus!
That
The
would
most
be good,
one of the
honestly.
most over people in the company. You want to turn him heel?
Yeah. Well,
I think he would do well against that Cena regime.
yeah,
I think he would be the forefront for me, and I think you build that up. I think
yeah,
because I
that's
think
true.
you're getting Orton at Backlash, you're getting Punk at Money in the Bank, rerun that classic Money in the Bank match, and then you get LA Knight, and then I think you get
Yeah.
Cody at SummerSlam.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Then
Yeah.
And then September.
I wouldn't be surprised if they run Orton again at some point. I reckon he'll get a one at Backlash, and he'll be like, I think he'll
Yeah.
get costed, like something will cost him the title,
Mm.
and then they'll do LA Knight, or maybe they somehow do a face Drew.
I actually can see Hill Drew actually.
Yeah, heel Drew versus
Drew
like
in his actual character now could really
yeah
work against Cena,
Cena.
kind of
But
thing.
I don't think you do that for Money in the Bank. You
No,
kind
I
of
think you do that. I reckon
maybe
you
that's
do
a
that at Bad
Survivor
Blood.
Series.
I just
Or SummerSlam, you
actually,
save Cody towards the end of it so he can win it back or something.
yeah, maybe I think so. I think Cody's definitely winning it back at
Yeah, but
December.
I don't. I think SummerSlam's too soon for Cody though.
Yeah, I think Cody comes back at SummerSlam.
Yeah,
I
maybe
think
they do
you at this.
Drew at SummerSlam and then he comes back after
Yeah,
the match.
I think so. I think by that point you should have add a second person to that faction, so
Yeah,
Cody's got time to wrestle that other person in that faction, and then
yeah.
have war games, and
Do you
then
reckon you do Team Rock versus Team Payment at Survivor Series?
yeah, you could do that. That would be
But then
very interesting to see.
that's kind of two heels though. That'll be interesting though.
It would be interesting. It would be interesting, and then we've got the Australian one in October,
And I
coming down
think
here to Perth.
that's probably gonna be Bad Blood, I reckon.
I think that might be Bad Blood. I think maybe we might get Bronson.
Oh, we definitely get Bronson in Australia. Yep.
Bronson, yeah, I think Bronson Reed definitely comes to Australia. I think
Yep.
he
Depending on who's IC title at the time, maybe he gets an IC title shot.
I think he's winning
Or
a championship at
or
that time.
or if Jay is still champion, you get him to pin Jay at Mania at that
Yeah.
for the title.
I think it depends how he comes back. If they come back and he's booked as strong as he was when he left, he's winning a
Yep.
championship at that match,
Oh,
at that pay-per-view.
100%.
So, but yeah, so but uh, Ghost, are you okay? He's dying. The ghost is back.
Best match
Oh,
at the event.
best match at the event.
Oh,
My best match. Oh, he's dead. He finally died.
he's gone.
Finally died. Night one. I think night one majority. Now the
Yeah,
ghost is
night
throwing
one
things at me.
has to be the main event.
Is the main event.
Yeah.
I think majority the main event of night one is the favourite match. I want to give a big shout out to Jesus. Okay, Ghost threw something at me again. I think everyone's sleeping on this El Grande Americano Rey Phoenix match.
I don't think it went long enough.
It didn't go long enough. No, I
think it was a good one, but it didn't really go as long as I thought it would have.
I think that needed to showcase what Lucha Libre it really is,
Yeah.
kind of thing. And they were showing up Vikingo as as WWE's announced that they have signed or acquired AAA. I was really like thinking there maybe they'd go Vikingo versus El Grande Americano. Like,
Yes. I reckon that might happen at
World Collide.
maybe
I reckon.
or SummerSlam.
Yeah, one of those.
I think
ones.
I think the King goes too popular for Worlds Collide.
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
it's a
maybe
good
not
showcase
NXT.
for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good showcase for him at Worlds Collide. Just to get the casual audience view, because us sickos that are
Yeah, us freaks.
into it and us freaks that are into it, we know what he's like and who he is and how bloody great he is in the ring. So, but yeah, worst match
Of night one, probably the tag match.
Yeah,
Like, I was not. Like, I used that time to go get food and have a break, pretty much. and it was
Yeah.
the second match, I think, second or
Yeah.
third.
Second match.
Yeah, second match, and it was either second or third. But yeah, I was
Yeah, it
kind of
was
like, I was like, I'm just gonna play this duel and just not bother. I'm not invested in it.
it was not wasn't up to the Wolf Raiders standards that match, but again, they
No,
are very
definitely not.
much in. I think you needed to put them with a more agile because they do really well with guys that are very cruiser
Yeah,
and that are very athletic. So like, there's a match on NXT with the Water Raiders versus Aleister Black and Ricochet, and it's a flipping fantastic match.
yeah, it is.
So I think they needed someone. They needed to have people with more agility. Like, not knocking Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, but I think they needed to showcase more agility for this match to gel properly.
Yeah,
My
yeah, definitely. I agree too.
my worst match over the 2 nights, I think, based on standards and where I thought this match would have gone, I think Logan Paul versus AJ Styles.
Yeah, I think that was the worst night match of night 2.
Yeah, I just think that was. You came in and you're like, they can't have a dud of a match kind of thing. Like,
Yeah,
they couldn't have that kind of below par match, but it felt like it did.
I don't think it may have been dud, but it was a very like
Yeah,
if
I wouldn't say dud.
if it was, but it was a very big letdown.
Yeah, I think in between a debut and a return
Yeah,
kind of thing, between the two mysteries, it's a really tough spot to be in.
it really
You know?
is. Yeah,
Like, they should have really maybe separated those two
yeah,
matches, like the Randy Orton, Joe Hendry, and then the return of Becky Lynch kind of thing. So,
yeah. And also, I think
yeah.
that was kind of obvious. Like the Joe Hendry like pop was like not expected. No one really thought it was going to be Joe Hendry. But
Yeah, no,
like,
I don't think I think everyone was expecting either Nick Aldis or Rusev,
yeah, and
but
then
Joe
with
Hendry was really good.
yeah, and then as soon as they said Bailey's not wrestling, everyone's like, oh yep, it's
Yeah,
Becky.
Becky Lynch. Yeah, Becky Lynch. So,
And when she came back, I was kind of like, oh, okay, but I was like, but they've been like having the storyline
it
with
would have been
Bailey for ages, and then
It would have been interesting if she did the heel turn at WrestleMania, like she
yeah,
comes
I
back
can.
and then
I think
loses.
that was
Like that.
that was like wasted opportunity.
Yeah, I think if she came in big pop, okay, they're gonna, if they're gonna win, sure, let them win. But what if Morgan and Rodriguez actually pinned Lyra and then Becky then turned heel?
Yeah, like they did on Monday
Just think
night,
of
pretty
those
much.
possibilities. Like that's
Pretty much, like
shock
yeah,
value right there. Yeah. So, I think that's about it, man. I think
yeah, I
you're
think that's
throwing
about it too.
things at the ghost again, telling me to stop. There it is. So this is your WrestleMania review of nights, both nights. The ghost just throws things at me. Jake, are you okay? Is the ghost haunting you?
Nah, he's not haunting me. I didn't see him around
Okay,
anyway. I think just
okay,
you.
all right. Almost had a chair flung at me. Anything else to add about the rest of the weekend?
No, I think that was pretty much all.
Pretty much all. All right, so part one of the podcast is right now. Stay tuned for the second podcast that we're about to record after this one. So stay tuned. We might have a surprise. There might be a
Oh,
surprise.
oh yeah.
Okay, so just stay tuned. Look and listen. Okay. All right. See you very soon.